Hello, friends. Welcome back to another session of interview questions, interviews related questions for Java. Let me share my screen and we will start from where you left. Yeah, so able to present my screen now. So now we will discuss about the nested classes, like class inside a class. Yeah, there is some requirements, something like that. We have to declare one class inside the class because itself it will not be there will be no meaning for that class. So that's why we have a sometime requirement to create a class inside a class, or inside a class we can create interface, enum, whatever. So we will discuss what is inner nested classes, what is inner classes. So what are nested classes in Java? Classes declared within another class is defined as nested class. Like one class, inside that class one more class you can declare, but that should not be a public, that should be a default or some other access modifier. It should not be public, because public class top level it can be public. Mm, yeah, public also possible. Yeah, we can give public. Fine. But in one .java file we can have a multiple classes, and that is not nested classes. In that case, you have to use that as a default one. Fine. So there are the two types of nested classes. One is a static nested classes, like the classes are a static member, or non-static, like you can say instance classes. But we call it non-static nested classes. Static nested classes, a class has a strict keyword declared. Sorry, static keyword declared before class definition. Because it is again we are using static keyword, it means this is another member of a class. A class has a valid member. Inner class is a valid member for a class, and that class if we are declaring as a static, then definitely we have to use a static keyword. Okay. What are inner classes or non-static nested classes in Java? So non-static means nested classes without any static keyword declared in a class. Definitions are defined as non-static nested classes. Generally, non-static nested classes are referred as an inner classes because it is not a static, it is an inner class. Okay. There are three types of inner classes: local inner class, member inner class, anonymous inner class. Local means within the methods. I think we will see this one now. So why to use nested classes in Java, or what is the purpose of nested classes? We have to group it. The classes has to be grouped, because without the outer class, or the base class, or you can say parent class, there is a no meaning of inner class. Like that inner class will be used with this class only. It's not will be used for other classes. So it's a better approach to write an inner class. Fine. So what are one reason is grouping of related classes, like classes which are not reusable will be used within this class only. We can use that class, we can declare that class as a inner class. Okay. For example, we have a submit button. Upon click and submit button, we need to execute some code. This code is related only to the class and cannot be reused for other class. instead of creating a new class, we can create inner class. To increase encapsulation, if we have to increase encapsulation, we can do it. In inner class can access private member of outer class. So by creating getter and setter method of a private variable, outside world can't can access these variable. But by creating inner class private variable, private variables can be accessed only by inner class, cannot be accessed by outer class. Okay. Code readable and maintainable. Rather than creating a new class, we can create inner class so that it easily maintain. And hiding implementation, we can hide implementation using inner class also. Okay, fine. Explain about the static nested classes in Java. Static classes is defined inside enclosing class. We define that class as a nested class. Static nested classes are not inner class. Static nested classes can be instantiated without instance of outer class. Yes, because it's a static member. For static member, we don't need to have any object. Okay. And static nested does not have access to instance variable or non-static member of the outer, because instance variable is related to your object. It's not related to your uh, class. Fine. How to instantiate static nested class? Static nested class, like syntax, it's asking about the syntax. How? So outer class dot static nested class reference variable, then a new outer class dot static nested class. See, this is a new keyword. Anyway, we have to use new keyword, but that new keyword outer class dot inner class name, outer class dot inner class name, and constructor you call respectively, you can instantiate. Fine. Explain about method, local inner class or local inner classes in Java. Explain about method, local inner classes, method of local inner classes or local inner classes in Java. Okay. Nested classes defined inside a method are local inner class, because what is a local variable? The variables defined, variable declared or initialized, declared inside your method are called local variable. Whatever the variables that you declared this variable, you declared this variable, the variable declaration you have done inside your method called a in local variable. Similarly, if you have defined any class, if you have defined any class, that class is within your method, it will be local class. Okay. We can create object of local inner class only inside method. Is there any chance that we can create that class object outside the method? No. Why? Because method has a method area. In that stack area, sorry, in that stack area, that method will be executed. Memory will be allocated at that time only, and you are accessible, or you can access that code within that stack memory only. So in that case, you have to use you have to create object for that class within the object, within the method only. A local inner class exists only when method is invoking. If method invocation is over, control has returned from the method, your memory stack memory will be cleaned up, so you cannot create that class. So you can, within that only you can use it. Okay. Feature of local inner class. So local inner class does not have any access specifier. You no need to have any success modifier, sorry, access modifier, because it's inner, it's sorry, it's a local variable can't have any access modifier. Similarly, if you are defining any class, you can't have any access specifier. Okay. We cannot use access modifier static or local inner class, but we can use abstract and final for the local inner class. Yeah, abstract and final you can use. But anyway, if you're defining abstract, then again you have to give the implementation in that method only. We cannot declare static member inside a local inner class. Yes, we can create object of a local inner class only inside a method where class is defined. Method local inner class can only access final variable declared inside a method. Method local inner class can only access final variable declared inside a method. The method, inside that method, whatever variable you declared, if those variable you want to access inside your class, that should be a final. That should be final. Okay. Method local inner class can be defined inside a loop, for while, and blocks such as if any block like for for loop or while loop or any if else statement, if else condition, inside that one if you want to declare any inner class or local inner class, you can do that. Explain about the anonymous inner class in Java. What is anonymous? See, anonymous inner class will not have any name, what, but it will directly give the implementations. Inner class defined without any class name is called anonymous inner class. Inner class is declared and instantiated using new keyword. The main purpose of anonymous inner class in Java are to provide interface interface. We use anonymous class when we need only one instance of a class, and we can use all members of enclosing class and find local final local variables also. When we compile anonymous inner class, compiler created two files some similar like this. Suppose enclosing names dot class is a one class. Inside that one we have declared one class, so it will give something dollar one dot class something name, because there is a no name, so it is giving this like that. Okay. Explain restricting for using anonymous inner class. Anonymous inner class cannot have any constructor, cannot have any constructor because there is no name for the class. And anonymous inner class cannot define static member, fields, or classes. Cannot have any static or something. See, generally, if you define any static member inside that class is anonymous. And any static variable of a class, how will you access? With the class name. But class name itself is not there. How will you access those? So you cannot define. That is the reason behind it. See, anonymous inner class cannot define static methods, fields, or classes. Why? Because static member of a class can be accessed by class name, but class name it's not there because it's anonymous. So that's why you cannot define. Okay. We cannot define an interface anonymously. No, because it's just implementation. You cannot give like that. Anonymous inner class can be instantiated only once. Only once. Yeah, there will be only one object. There will be no more than one object. If you want to create that one, you can't do. At that time, when you are defining that anonymous class, object will be created. Okay. uh, is this valid in Java? Can we instantiate interface in Java? Can you, if I simply ask you, can you instantiate interface in Java? No, you can't. You have to provide implementation. Suppose runnable R is equal to new runnable. So what it is this? What is this? If I ask you, this is anonymous class new runnable. After new runnable, you see here, this is the implementation of runnable. So this is another class, anonymous class. So runnable is an interface. If we see the above code, it looks like we are instantiating runnable interface, but we are not instantiating interface. We are instantiating anonymous inner class, which is implemented for runnable interface. That's it. Which is implementation, which is the implementation of runnable interface. This is anonymous inner class. All the method will come here. If it has a more than one method, two, three, four, n number of methods, and there will be only one object. This one object will be there because it will create here one object. And for this removal, like this is an if it is a functional interface in Java 8, uh, uh, lambda expression is introduced. You can remove this much code also. Okay, next, explain about member of inner class. I think, yeah, of it should be. So non-static class defined with an uh enclosing class are called member inner class. And a member inner class is a member inner class defined at member level of a class. Yeah, explain about the member inner class. So inner class is another member of a class. Yes, it is a member of a class. Yes, fine. So feature of a member inner class can be declared abstract or final. It can be a member inner class can extend class or implement interface. Yes, an inner class cannot declared static field or methods. If you want to define any static field or methods, cannot do. A member inner class can be declared with the public, private, protected, or a default access. Yeah, inner class can be public, private, protected, or default. Fine. How to instantiate member of inner class? How will you instantiate? See, this is a static outer class dot inner class. Outer class name dot inner class name is equal to new is equal to sorry, inner is equal to new outer class reference dot new inner class. We cannot instantiate inner class without outer class reference. How to how to do encapsulation in Java? How to do encapsulation in Java? Make instance variable private. Simple. Instance variable, like whatever the instance variable you are declaring, like int, x, b, string, any type of variable, you define that as a private and provide getter and setters for that. So that will be encapsulation. Code and data will be grouped. How will you group the code and data? So you have to make the variable as a private and has to provided getter and setter methods. Okay. What are reference variable? What are reference variable in Java? What is reference variable, or what are reference variable? Any variable that is user defined, any class that you have defined and you are creating the object for that one, are called reference variable which are used which are used to access object in Java are called reference variable, such as employee emp is equals to new employee. In the above example, emp is a reference variable. A reference variable can be or can be only one type. Can be only one type. Okay. Reference variable can point to a number of object. But if a reference variable is declared final, it cannot point to other object. Yeah, because it's a final. Final means you can't change. Reference variable can be declared either to a class type or interface type. Hmm. If a reference variable is declared with reference type, interface type, it points to the class that implements the interface. Uh, will the compiler create a default constructor if I have a parameterized constructor in the class? Yes. The answer is yes. Will the compiler create default constructor if I have a parameterized constructor? The answer is no. Yes. Yeah. Answer is no. If there is no constructor, sorry, if there is no constructor in your class, then compiler will create a default constructor without no parameter. It will create. But if you have declared any constructor with the parameters, your compiler will not create a default constructor. Yes. Fine. Can we have a method name same as a class name in Java? Yes. Yes, it can have. We can have a method name same as a class name. It won't throw any compilation error, but it show warning. Compiler will not throw any error, but it will just show warning. Please use some other name, something like that. Suggestion it will give. Message that method name is the same as a class name, something. Can we override constructor in Java? Can we override constructor in Java? The answer is yes. Yes. Constructor can't be inherited in Java. Sorry. Override. Overriding means it will happen from superclass and subclass. There is an inheritance relationship. In case of inheritance relationship, can you override method? No, you can't. Sorry, can you override constructor? You can't. You can define another constructor and you can call that constructor with the help of super keyword. Okay, yes. Constructor cannot be inherited in Java, so there is no point to overriding overriding constructor in Java. Okay. Can static method access instance variable in Java? Can static method access instance variable? No. Answer is no, because static variable you can access with the class name, and instance variable belongs to your object. So far you have not created any object, then which instance variable it will point in memory? It can't point, so you can't access it all. Can static member access? Okay. How do we access static member in Java? Instance variable and instance method can be accessed using reference, but to access any static member, we need to use class name. We can access those with the class name. Okay. How do we access static member with the class name? Okay. Can we override static method in Java? Static method can't be overridden. If we have a static method in a subclass with the same signature, then we do not say that it's overriding. We call that as. See, why you can't override the static method? Because how you will access the static method you can access with the class name. So if you created a new subclass and you are trying to access with that class name, it will definitely call from that class only. If you are accessing the above using class A, the super class or parent class, if you are accessing with the name of parent class, then from the parent class it will call. You can't say, cannot do. Okay. Can we override static? Yeah, we can't. Difference between object and reference. What is the object and reference? Reference is the variable, you can say, that will point an object. Reference and object are both different. Objects are instance of a class that reside in a heap memory. Yes, object will sit? Object will sit in your heap memory. Object that does not have any name, so to access the object we use reference means reference variable, so we use some reference variable to access them, so that is the reference variable only. That's why it is called a reference. It's pointing a reference, it's giving a reference of object. Okay. There is no alternative way to access object except through references. So that is the difference between object and reference. Object will sit in memory, reference one variable that we have. Through that reference, we will access that object. Okay. Objects or references, which of them gets garbage collected? Which of them will be garbage collected? Objects will be get garbage collected, because for what purpose you are cleaning the memory? So that you can store any other object, so you have to clean up the objects only. Objects get garbage collected, not the references. Okay. How many times finally method will be invoked? Who invoke finalizer method in Java? Garbage collector will call. Finalize method will be called only once in object, before the objects get garbage collected. So suppose you created one object, That object has to be removed from memory. So JVM will call finalizer. So finalizer method will call only once, and object will be removed. Next time you create a new object, for that again it's only called once. Okay. So finalizer method will be called only once on object before the object get garbage collected. Garbage collector will call finalizer. Finalizer, a finalize method to free the resources. Finalize method will be called only when object is eligible for garbage collection. Okay. How we can access, how we able to pass, how we able to pass objects in an argument in Java? How? We'll define one method with some parameters, and in that parameters you will define a type. Only reference variable you have to give. Only reference can be passed through the method, not the object. We have to define some reference variables there. We cannot pass the object to the method. The large amount of a data that can passed and parameter are long and double that can be passed, but other only the reference variable will be passed. Okay. Wrapper classes. What is wrapper classes? What is wrapper classes? See, in Java we have some of the primitive data types like byte, short, int, long, float, double, character. So these all are the or boolean. So these all are the primitive data types. But what if you want to use Java as a pure object oriented programming language? What do you have to do? You can use wrapper classes. Converting the primitive to object is a wrapper. There is a one wrapper classes. Converting primitive to object can be done with the help of wrapper classes. Suppose your primitive data types you are converting to object. So you want to treat Java as a pure object oriented programming language. Since you can say Java is not pure object oriented because this has a primitive data types. But still, if you want to use pure object oriented, you can use it. You can use it. You use the wrapper classes. Primitive data types you will convert to object. Okay, with the help of wrapper classes. Prior to Java 1.5, we use wrapper classes to convert primitive to object. From 1.5, we have a new feature called auto boxing, uh, which is used to convert automatically primitives to object. But in wrapper classes, programmer has to take care. Okay, fine. Explain the difference between different types of wrapper classes in Java. How many types of wrapper classes are there? See, boolean, int, float, char, byte, long, short. Double is also not there. Double is there. Boolean, int, float, char, byte, long, short, double. Okay, fine. Explain about the transient variable. What is transient variable? If you want to serialize your object, what is serialization? Serialization is the process of saving the object state of the object into file called serialization. So if you want to save, then which field it will be saved? So if you don't want to save any field, you use transient. Okay. Can we serialize static variable in Java? Static variable cannot be serialized. Why? Because static variable memory will be not in object. Memory will be in the method area, not in heap area. Okay. What is type conversion? Type conversion. Uh, Assigning a value of one type to a variable of other type is called a type conversion. For example, int a is equal to 10. Now long b is equal to a. Now a is a type of integer, and integer you can assign to long. No problem. It is a widening. There are two types of conversion: widening, narrowing. Narrowing means long you are trying to initialize to int. It's a possible, it may lose some of the bits or it might. If it is within the range, it will not, it will not um, lose. But if it is a more than that range, definitely it will lose some of the bits. Okay. Automatic type conversion. What is automatic type conversion? Suppose from int you are going to long, automatic type conversion is happening. From long you are going to float or double, it can happen. But from float double int you are going to byte or something, have to do explicitly. So automatic type conversion is done if the following conditions are met: when two types are compatible. Yes, if it's a compatible, it will happen. And destination type is larger than the source. Okay. Int can okay, widening conversion comes under automatic type conversion. Okay. Explain about the nerving conversion in Java. What is nerving conversion? Nerving means when destination type is smaller but the source type is larger. In that case, definitely it will happening narrowing. So source type smaller, like destination type is smaller than source. We are narrowing conversion mechanism in Java. Narrowing conversion has to be done automatically if destination type is smaller than source. To do narrowing conversion, we use casting. We have to use the casting. Suppose long A, now byte B. Now inside B we are trying to initialize A. We have to typecast it because we are doing narrowing here. Okay. Explain the importance of import keyword. What do you think, what is import? Like some classes are already there in some package, you want to use that package in your Java program. How will you use? You have to use import statement. Import keyword is used to import single class or package in our source file. Import statement is declared after package declaration. Yeah, after package declaration you can define, you can declare any import statement. Star means all package it will import. Okay. After compilation, the compiler code does not contain import statement. It will replace with the fully qualified class name. After compilation, the compiler code does not contain import statement. It will replace with fully qualified class name wherever it is used. Okay. Explain naming convention for package. So Sun Microsystem has defined some of the naming convention for package. Like package name should be in small letter. Package name start with reverse company domain. Suppose google.com. So it should be com.google.com Google. After that one, some Google product like Google AdSense, Google YouTube, Google uh, Gmail, Google something like that. You can give it. Okay, fine. Following department, suppose com.google.sales.employees, something like that. Okay. What is class path? What is class path? The path where our dot class files are saved. You can say that it's a class path. Where is our dot class file? So that is a the path where your dot class files are saved is referenced as a class path. JVM search for dot class files by using the class path specified. Class path is specified by class path environment variable. Class path environment variable can contain more than one value. Class path variable contain more than one value as separated by colon. Suppose something like that. C program files Java JDK 16 something like that. Okay. Only parent directory need to be added to class path. Compiler will look for appropriate packages and classes. Okay. What is jar? Jar is a bundle of you can say that bundle of your dot class files where all the dot class files will be there, where your source code will be there. Jar stands for Java archives file. Jars are created by using jar.exe tool. Jar files contain dot class files, outer resources used in our application, and manifest file. Manifest file contain class name with the main methods. Jar method dot jar contain compressed and dot class files. JVM finds these dot class files without uncompressing the jar. Yes. What is the scope or lifetime of instance variable? As long as your object is there in memory. If object is garbage collected, the instance variable will be removed. So when object is instantiated using new operator variable get allocated in memory, instance variables remains in memory until it is garbage collected. Yes. Explain the scope or lifetime of class variable or static variable. As long as JVM is running, static variable do not belongs to instance variable. We can access static field even before instantiating of a class. Static variable remain in memory till the life of your application or until your JVM is running. Okay. Explain scope or lifetime of local variable. Local variable scope will be as long as your method is executing. Once the method execution is over, the local variable will be removed from the memory. Okay. uh, Created local variable get created in a stack memory and the variable get deleted from the memory once the method execution is over or done. Next, explain about static import statement in Java. Static import, like from Java 5.0, we can import static variable in our source file. Importing static variable member to the source file is referenced as static import. The advantage of static import is we can access static variable without class or in reference. Suppose com dot something system dot out, out is system dot out dot println is there. So println is a method inside out is a variable and that is a static, so we can import that one and we can directly next time we can write out dot println, something like that you can do it. Okay. Can we define static method inside interface? Static method, no. See, if you define inside interface, then you can call with interface name, but it's illegal. Something we can't declare static method inside interface. Only instance method are permitted in interface only. Define interface in Java. How can you define using interface keyword? You have to use interface is a collection of abstract method and constraint, and interface is also defined as a pure or 100% abstraction. Yes, 100% abstraction. Interface are implicitly abstract whether we define abstract access modifier or not. A class implementing interface in overriding all abstract method defines an interface. Implements keyword is used uh, to define the interface. What is the purpose of interface? To achieve the abstraction. Interface is a contract. Interface act as a communication between two objects. When we are defining interface, we are defining a contract what our class should do, but not how it does. An interface does not define what a method does. A power of interface lies when different class that are unrelated can implement interface. Interface are designed to support dynamic methods uh, resolution at runtime. Okay, so explain the feature of interface. So we will do that in our next session. We'll take some break and in the next session we will start from question number 181. Okay, thank you and have a nice day.